If one of his
In progress.
if one of his gurus called, he would stop whatever he's doing until his audience, whoever is around him, that when God calls, because he taught his devotees, not his guru, sorry, they were of such importance that he had to stop whatever he was doing and go and meet them. So this was his early life of being a good devotee and a good jeweler. But then he started to have visions. But before that, his wife, his other half, used to tell him at the age of 60 that he should retire from the business. And in those days, when in India, of course, when you reach 60 years of age, you retire from your business and you go and live, well, not exactly in the forest, but in isolation. And so he was saying that let's wait for a couple more years before we actually do that. Let's do some more business, make some more money, make sure that the children were okay. And that's the other part of him also. He was a very good father. He looked after his children well. Uh, he gave them whatever they wanted to satisfy them. He was also a philanthropist, a great philanthropist. He believed in doing charity, and he really served in that area, all the downtrodden, the orphans, anyone who came to him, he would donate. And so at that time, his wife was telling him at the age of 60, it was time to retire. And he said, no, let's do some more business. But as the proverb says, man proposes, but God disposes. So he started to have a series of vision, and he couldn't understand at that time what these visions were all about. And so he consulted his guru, and he saw the blank stares in the face of the guru, and he realized that even the gurus didn't understand anything. And so he went more into contemplation and more into solitude, and was trying to understand because no one could give him an answer. He actually went on tours to find answers to the visions that he was having. Eventually, he started to have visions of destruction, a new world order where the world was destroyed. He saw bombs being dropped, cities being destroyed. And at that time, uh, North America or USA was not as it was at that time because this was 1936 we are talking about, or before that. And he saw the vision of America being destroyed and the rest of the world being destroyed. And, there was a lot of sorrow at that time and he couldn't fathom. It was too much for him. Then he saw another side of the other vision that he saw was a new world being created, and there were like stars coming down onto the earth, and these stars came into bodies, and what he saw was like a vision of heaven, very beautiful paradise. And still, he didn't know what was going on, and as of course the gurus couldn't answer him. And like I said before, he really respected his guru. But what changed all of that? One day he had a gathering in his home, and his guru was present. And he was in that gathering, and he always respected his gurus. He always waited until they finished, and then when they got up, then he would get up. But in the middle of the gathering, he got up and went to his room. It was very unusual because he was so respected. and he had so much respect for everyone. It was very unusual for him to do something like that. His wife saw, and his daughter-in-law saw him get up. And so they follow him to his room. And when they entered into his room, the room was illuminated with reddish light. But they couldn't understand, and he didn't know what was going on also. But then the daughter-in-law heard a song. It was a voice coming from whether it's up above, but she was not even sure. And the voice was saying that I am the luminous self. I am Shiva. I am the blissful self. I am Shiva. I am the knowledgeful self. I am Shiva. And then what she saw was his eyes, his entire face was red. The eyes saw the red light and the bright spark on his forehead. But she couldn't understand also. So when he came out of that also, he was wondering and he was asking, who was this? Then he went a bit more into contemplation. And, like the knowledge started to pour into him. And then he began to have some amount of realization that this had to be the Supreme Soul who had entered him and was giving him these visions and also telling him who he was. Then he had some more visions, and it was like the Supreme Personality, God Himself, entering him, telling him about the New World Order and that he was the one who would have been instrumental or would be instrumental in creating this new world. Om Shanti.
शीतल में एक दिव्य ज्योति प्रवेश किया और खुद का परिचय दिया। ज्ञान स्वरूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम। ज्ञान स्वरूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम। ज्ञान स्वरूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम। ज्ञान स्वरूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम। प्रकाश स्वरूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम। प्रकाश स्वरूपम शिवोहम शिवोहम। शिव दादा तन जोलिया ब्रह्म बाबा दादिया हम बंदी स्थापन किया। ईश्वर परिवर्तन लीला है। ईश्वर परिवर्तन लीला है। शिव आकर ज्ञान गंगा बहाई। ब्रह्मा का तन जब लिया था, निराकार शिव हुए साकार। निराकार शिव हुए साकार। आओ मानव से देव बन जाए, मिलके स्वर्ग धरा पर निवारे। मिलके स्वर्ग धरा पर।
Thank you, Brother Mahindra, for that beautiful sharing on our founding father, Father Brahma. Um, for those who join us a bit late, who came in a bit late, um, the the founding father is Father Brahma Kumari, is, as you can see on the thing, Father Brahma Baba, we call him. And so now that we have learned who he is, what he has found, and where, so our next segment is what he has established. And so to take us into this, I'll introduce you to Brother Vicky, who has been on this path for over 15 years, and he is a doctor by profession, a medical doctor. So I now hand you over to Brother Vicky, who will take you into what Father Brahma has established in the Brahma Kumari. Over to you, brother.
Thank you, Devi, for your humble introduction. Om Shanti, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome and happy Day of Remembrance. We're celebrating the Day of Remembrance. We're celebrating our founding father, Brahma Baba. And so, yes, Brother Mahendra would have spoken to you about Dada Lekraj, and that's the pre-Brahma Baba. And so, when Dada Lekraj was receiving these visions, he also received a vision of the Almighty. And as it would have been mentioned also, he came to the understanding that it was the Almighty, it was the Divine, who must have been, I don't know what he thought at that time, if he was playing tricks on him or what it was, but he came to an understanding that it is the Divine who must be doing this. And so after he got this vision of God, the Supreme, in it was the inspiration to devote all his efforts to the creation of this new world that he had gotten. The world of heaven, the world of the new age, the world where the stars were coming from up above and they were entering into bodies of deities practically. And so he basically what he did is that he did what his wife was asking him to do. And he wound up everything. He met with his partner, his business partner, and came to a decision that, you know what, this is it for me when it comes to the business. You continue, I'll exit. And so he decided at that point that he was going to dedicate his rest of his life to this divine cause of creating this new world. And so Brahma, as we know, around there, it's synonymous with the creator, right? Creation. And so it is as if this was God's task of creation through Brahma. God was using him, if we can use those words. No? God was using him. And so he surrendered and he said, okay, use me. And so what he did, he started to ponder on methods of how am I going to go about and create this new world. And so what he did is that he started a satsang. Satsang, we all know, it's a Hindi word for spiritual gathering. We even keep those in Guyana these days. We have satsangs. And so the satsangs, however, were around everything that was said through him. Because what used to happen is that the insights were given through him, but then he will either ask for it to be related to him, re-related, so that he can make sense of it. Yes? And so he started these spiritual satsangs where he used to share on his own churnings of what was shared through him. And so when the satsang started, more people started to come. And so there was a big enough gathering. There was like a group of people with this common goal. And what had happened is that other people also started to get visions and sort of the same vision that he got of this new world. And so also it used to happen because they had started this chanting of Om. Yeah, they used to chant Om. And so as they will chant Om, people will get visions, and they will get visions of Krishna, they will get visions of the other deities, they would get visions of this perfect world. And in a way, it was also like a pulling to come to the satsang. And so the satsang grew, and it got bigger and bigger. And Baba decided to call it Om Mandali. So it was called Om Mandali. And he also sort of introduced himself as Brahma Baba, or people came to the understanding that this is Brahma, and they fondly called him Baba. Everybody used to call him Baba. So he was known then from that point onwards as Brahma Baba. And we still call him Brahma Baba to these days. So what he did, as you know, he was wealthy. He was a jeweler, so he had a good bit of earnings. And when he came to that agreement with his business partner, his share was, a substantial sum. But what he did is that he didn't keep it. He actually created this trust, and he donated all the wealth. He donated all the wealth to that trust. And there was a trust of 8 young sisters who were already a part of the satsang. And so the reason he did that is, as part of his surrender, he came to this understanding: for me to be able to do this task that God has asked me to do, I have to surrender my mind, I have to surrender my body, and I have to surrender my wealth. And so he did that. And the organization continued as Om Mandali, and now it had finances and whatever else to, take an organization through its journey or through its path, or enable it to get to reach to its goal. But it wasn't all, nice and rosy, and it as God came and things were going to go perfectly. No, that didn't happen. And so while many supported the satsang, there were also those who opposed it. So there was opposition. And opposition for a number of reasons. And so many were forced, to stop coming to the satsang. People's relatives, literally stopped them, locked them in their rooms, locked their gates, physical obstruction. You're not going to go to this place anymore. And so they started to picket outside of the compound of the Om Mandali. Yeah, so very similar scenes like we will see here in Guyana around the streets. The picketing, when people don't agree with something, they kind of express that this way. And so they picketed. And before I get to this, so one of the things that people couldn't come to the understanding of was what was this thing around body consciousness and lust. And so this was one of the biggest things people had, because what Brahma Baba was inspiring people to do was to live a life of purity and to practice purity. And in the practice of purity, you had to give up sex lust. And their biggest concern was, if we didn't allow it to continue, how was the world going to continue? But of course, he explained to them, it is not me who is giving this recommendation or instruction even. It's actually coming from the divine. This is what he has recommended. This is what he has asked. Because he has said, in order for you to create this new world, there needs to be purity, and purity at all levels. And so they got more irate, and they even reached to this point that people hired assassins to target him. And so, yes, there was, someone who was, we know of one, I know of one story where someone was hired to kill him. And of course, his faith in God did not allow that to happen. And this, we will share a little bit more about as we go along with the sharings. They even set the place on fire. So they tried burning the buildings down. And so that happened. But this did not stop it from carrying on. right? So Brahma Baba saw this as a divine task. And so his movement that he also created was also with this flavor of divinity. And because he had surrendered in such a way, it was not even his doing, but it had left it all up to the divine. So it was God's doing. And so it continued even though all the oppositions happened. And for 14 years, with God's help, of course, he continued his spiritual training. And now the group was about 350 people strong. And so for 14 years, he trained these young people, old people. Most of them were young sisters, actually. And so he trained them in such a way that they became independent women. He even trained them to repair cars. Yes, he trained them to repair cars. They were literally car mechanics. He trained them to be self-sufficient. The sisters, when they had to wash the big pots, they went into the pots. Because we had to cook for 350 people, so you needed big pots. And so these little girls used to go into the pot and wash the pot. But, they ended up being good pot washers. And not to say it's a menial task, but it taught them things. It taught them things. It taught them management skills. It taught them cleanliness. It taught them organization. It taught them running an organization even. Yes. See, I think what Brahma Baba did, or what he made sure that he did, is that he was the number one student of what God was sharing, because there was a concurrent thing happening. There was establishment, but there was also transformation of himself. And he used to walk the walk in that if God made a recommendation in his sharings, he will attempt it first, because he didn't feel okay to say, do this, when he himself wasn't doing it. And so he gained respect within the gathering for this one reason, because of his humility, of course. And so about 1936 till about 1950, they were all in Karachi for these years. And then in 1950, the organization actually shifted to Mount Abu, which is where we are now, where we're headquartered now, Mount Abu, Rajasthan. And now the organization has been renamed, of course, and it's called the Prajapita Brahma Kumaris Ishwarya Vishwa Vidyalaya. Sister Kinnari would tell you the English meaning of it when she shares, but shortened, we are known as the Brahma Kumaris around the world. Yes, we're called the Brahma Kumaris. This is actually our, we've started to call it our brand. And so that people know of us, we are known as the Brahma Kumaris. So we are the Brahma Kumaris Guyana, for example. And depending on where we are located, it takes the name of that country, for example. And so, Baba continued to inspire all these students that used to come to spread God's message throughout India and the world. And so, the women, of course, who had grown to be very courageous, they were like lionesses. No, that's the plural of lioness. But lionesses in their thinking and their conduct, in that sense, not like fierce, ferocious like that, but in the way they carry themselves, in the way they express themselves, in the way that they share their ideas and their ideals. And so they went alone to many cities in India and started centers all over India with very little, almost to nothing sometimes, little spaces with a place to sleep and just enough to eat. They went and they started, these centers because, Baba had inspired them, we we're all in this together. It's God's task and we're his helpers, so we're like godly helpers. And so we need to make this happen because of the necessity. And so it also crossed borders and it reached the foreign lands. And Japan was one of the first places that it had started. In the picture there, the sisters in the white, the one to your left is Daddy Prakashmani. And so she was one of the heads, administrative heads, as the organization evolved. And it reached Guyana in 1975. Sister Jayanti, who is our additional administrative head at the moment, she was a young sister, and Baba had given her the task of going to, different parts of the world and sharing God's message. And she came here in 1975 in the month of December. And on the 7th of December, I believe, is when we had our first, December 5th, sorry, I'm reminded. December 5th was when we had our first public program at the now City Hall. And what had blossomed from that was one of Baba's first places here in Ghana called the Peace Palace. And so, of course, Brahma Baba had a role that couldn't last forever in the physical because the body was one, deteriorating, but also the role, what it was. And so in about 33 years, he fulfilled that role in the corporeal form, in the body. But like I'd mentioned, being number one student and practicing the things that God was teaching him, he was also having personal transformation. And he had transformed into his perfect form, like Sister Devi mentioned. And he had become, or he became angelic because, of course, he left the body. He left the body as Brahma Baba, and he became angelic. And he became this living embodiment of spiritual knowledge, divine virtues, and selfless service. And his pure thoughts, words, and actions really laid the foundation for world transformation, which we proudly call the Brahma Kumaris to this day, where his legacy continues, where we also continue to remember him as our founding father. And it has been 57 years today since he had transitioned into this other role as angelic Brahma Baba, where he continues to do God's service.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Vicky, for that beautiful sharing on the establishment. Now we know who is our founding father, what he has found, and what he has established. Before we go into our next segment, Brother Mahindra, we have a poem by Brother Mahindra. Over to you.
Om Shanti once again. So this poem summarizes the teachings of it's from the early days of the BKs, the Brahma Kumaris. And it's a very simple poem, but it emphasizes the consciousness of the soul. And so you can even follow it. Sorry. You spoke one word, and I was awakened. My heart has arisen from the deepest sleep. I know who I am, a soul in a body. From this house of matter, I now know how to fly. In one single moment, you made me a yogi. You took me up to the highest home. I am the soul. This body is matter. I am eternal. The body must burn. By giving me knowledge, you sat me on a high throne. You showed me the way to purity. You sat me on a high throne. You showed me the pure path. You awakened me from the deepest sleep. Om Shanti.
Thank you very much, Brother Mahendra, for that beautiful poem. I'll now introduce you to Sister Kinnery, who will be sharing with us today on the legacy and how whatever Brahma Baba has established, how it is being sustained up to today and it's been continuing, and how we've been continuing to grow. So I'll now hand you over to Sister Kinnery, who is the center coordinator of the Brahma Kumari here in Georgetown. She, by profession, she's a medical doctor, but she has surrendered to be to spiritual organization to serve at the Brahma Kumaris, and she have been with this organization since childhood. So over to you, Sister Kinnery.
Thank you. Om Shanti, everyone. Greetings of peace to everybody in person and also those joining us online on Zoom. So you got to see, you got to know who is. You keep hearing this board, seeing this board, Brahma Kumaris, Brahma Kumaris. How did it all begin? Who is the person behind it? How did it evolve? As you saw the story, it was not a bed of roses, but how even every thorn was changed into a flower. So what's the journey after? Many times when the founding father passes away, leaves the body, many organizations shake and they topple. Right? And that's what exactly our anti-party people waited. This Dada is gone. Now let's see how long it will last. You know what happened? From 1969, today we are in 2026. The organization is in more than 110 countries. We have more than 9,000 centers around the world. And of course, we have general consultative status at the UN. We are in a place where being a part of an NGO representative at the UN, I can share this with you. Every year we have to write a statement and make an oral statement, written statement, and a side event. And every time, and we're becoming bolder and bolder. Before we used to think we have to have a secular language, but now we use soul conscious, God conscious, and even the government and those who are in the political arena are open and accepting those terms and consciousness. So, and we understand spirituality is important in every walk of life. Is it only at 60 years of age we need spirituality? How old are you? You're 10? And how old is your brother? Wow, that's a very good number. I was 6 when I used to come along with my mom. So it's good to have you as well. Did you understand what was shared so far? Excellent. So what brings us all together? What makes this expansion happen? One person had a vision and committed, as Our brothers were sharing, what he was and the transformation it happened, the surrenderness that was there, which made all of this happen. No matter what challenges came, the faith that he held on to. We all look upon mentors. Here, it is not a matter of worship. Here, it is not a matter of praising. Let me praise Stuti, they in different shlokas. That is not the thing. Here, Baba doesn't create followers. What is he creating here? Are we all followers of the Brahma Kumaris? Are we followers of the Brahma Kumaris? What do you think? Ayurbai, are we follower? No. So what are we? We are not followers. Then we're like, really? You're not following? So who are we? Children. Yes, that comes with, it's a family, right? Here, God creates heirs. He makes, there's no guru and devotee here. Here he's making each one a king. Are you ready to become a king? The 7-year-old? What's your name? So I can pick on your name properly. Pranav. Okay, Pranav. Are you ready to, would you like to be a king? Think about it. Or you want to be the queen? That's okay. So here God creates heirs. So here we've not come to become a follower. Here it's not come, you might have walked in through the gate or walked into the center saying, I'm so stressed out. I'm going through a phase of depression. I'm having challenges in relation. Whatever the reason you walked through the gate. But has your aim transformed, Satyabhai? From what you came for and what your aim is now? Shaniza? Right? It's not just to become a better person. God, the divine light, who gave the vision and inspired Brahma Baba to create a world called heaven, paradise, or land of Eden, or land of Allah. He inspires us also. So we're not just becoming good and better, but we want to be those divine beings with divine virtues and quality, angelic. That is the aim of the organization. And it is still today, who is running this? We might be instruments. Brother Vicky was showing the picture and said, Dadi Prakashmani, she was one of the administrative head. And the sister next to her was Dadi Ratan Moini. She also was our administrative head. But who is the real head? Who is it who's running this? Not Brahma Baba. It is still the Supreme, and we are all his instruments. Instrument consciousness, right? And that is why we all are still inspired, motivated, driven, because it is still him who's leading us, inspiring us. Yes, we follow Brahma Baba in the way he transformed himself, in the virtues that he held on. God himself says, look, follow him. Parents tell to children, do you say Pranav to, if somebody is topper in the class, find out which school does he go to, or any special tuitions he's taking, how is he studying, hang out with those kids. Do you say? Are you very mindful of that friendship? Right? So similarly, here also, God, Shiva says, follow Father Brahma. What do I follow? You heard some of the virtues, but there were many other virtues that he had. One was one support, one strength. No matter what challenges came, he held on to the one support. Imagine in the beginning stories that you heard that he had such name and fame, respected in the community. And the same people defame you, and the same people oppose you in public. What should be your state? Even just a family member goes against your way, what would be your state? You will have different feelings, but he stood very unshakable and immovable. Zero anger, zero resentment, zero aversion or animosity. He said, no, they are ignorant. Once they understand and realize the truth, they will come along. And that's exactly what happened. So of course, he surrendered his entire property and created a trust of with 8 women as their administrative heads. But there came a time for 14 years, you have to sustain 350 people. Their clothing, their food, all their other needs were taken care of without asking a penny. You come to so many programs. Do we charge you? First, second, when you join these free sessions, right? They say the first 21 days, these sessions are free. And then you have to take a package. Do we do that? Come and have a taster and then you take a package for 6 months. Huh, Satyabai? No. Yeah. Same. It is the principle that Shiv Baba, our Divine Father, said. This is a family. A father will never charge the child. There might be one child who might not be able to afford. Of course, it's a family, so we contribute, and that's how it is sustained, right? So, where was I going with this part? So no matter what challenges came, there came a point when the money in the pot got depleted and there was no food for 3 times. Maybe they had 1 time meal or twice a meal and insufficient. But still, if you have 2 children, you have 2 children, and if there's no food for dinner, are you both okay? Are you going to sleep peacefully? There's no food for dinner. No, it's okay. Tomorrow we'll see what to do. Will you both be okay, mother and father? No. He was stable. See, this is his task, and we're all his children. Somehow but he never compromised on the principle. These days, we are in Kali Yuga. To earn free money or easy shortcut money, some people compromise. But integrity, he held on to the principle. So one support, one strength. Of course, the resources came and they were fed. Nobody starved to death, but that support. And he was so loving. Even before he became Brahma Baba, he was very loving. He never raised his voice or his hand on his children. How many of you do that? Many of you are parents here. How many of you have never raised your hand or raised your voice on your child? Dashrath, you never raised your voice on your child? Oh, you did? Okay. How many of you have never raised your voice or hand? Come on, come on. There must be one. You're very honest. Now, you're educated now. So now do you raise your voice? Very good. So he never raised his voice, never raised his hand on his children before and even after. And I know his daughter, Nirmal Shanta Dadi, and she was taking care of the entire Calcutta zone. And the same, the sanskars, how your upbringing is, that goes on to the kids also, no? Because children see and children learn. So once, you heat up milk, and sometimes you forget you put milk on the stove. What happens? There's overflow. And something like that happened. The sister who put the milk on the stove forgot, and it started to overflow. And what would be a response? If you are the instrument, or if you are the, Arey, you forgot. So much milk got wasted. You know what she said? What did Nirmal Shanta Dadi say? This is his daughter. Huh? Anybody knows? So she said, in golden age, there will be rivers of milk. So we're rehearsing it now. There'll be rivers of milk which will flow. We're rehearsing it now. And she never raised. She said, for the future, just pay attention. That's it. How many of us can do? So these are the things when we say follow father. follow those virtues, how he integrated it into his life. Oh, yes, that also was there. Yes, it was her. Yes, it was the same sister, same daughter who gave away her bangles, no, to. So she had that quality of charity, no? And Baba would encourage, yes, do charity, no? Though they would get pocket money. That was the story I was sharing about. Yeah, so we are at a junction. So what can we take at this time? Brahma Baba was in the corporeal, and of course, we all weren't there in this body at that time. Maybe we were in a different costume and we were close. But now, why are we doing this? Why do I need to know his journey? What is the significance for me in this now? Would you like to be like Brahma Baba? How many of you feel you want to be like Brahma Baba? Acha, very good. Pranav, you want to be like Brahma Baba? Ayar Bhai? Hand raise कीजिए. Yes. Satya Bhai? Okay. Pakka? Challenges will come. You okay? No, nothing to be scared. Because it's a saying, when God is on your side, nothing can shake you. Storms will come, it will make us strong. When you give an exam, we move forward, isn't it? So same thing here. So test papers will come, you'll go from grade 1 to grade 2. If you don't give test papers, then I will be nursery. Are you okay to be nursery all the time? Exactly. So to take inspiration, I need to know the one who passed with honors, the one who studied. He left his corporeal body at the age of 93, and he didn't even have a back support. He would sit erect. How many of us can sit erect? Pranav, can you sit without a chair support like that? And he would sit with his leg, you see the picture when you turn around with his leg folded like that. This is called Sukhasana, but he would see it in a half Padamhasana, half lotus pose. How many of us can sit? Don't try. If you have any aches and pains, that's not the point. Physically, maybe we will be able to, but mind positioning, this positioning of the soul, our mindset is important. The perspective, how I see myself, how I see people, and how I see situation is important. So today, take an inspiration from Brahma Baba's life. He had everything. And then on a physical, materialistic level, and then how his life transformed. And I always think, everybody has an entry and an exit, right? We are all guests in this body. So what am I doing being a guest in this body? If I also wake up, go to school, go to work, eat and sleep, again, wake up, go to work, go to school, eat and sleep, what did I contribute? What did I contribute to the world? What did I contribute to the Mother Nature? What is the legacy? We use the word legacy, Brahma Baba's legacy. What is the legacy that I want to leave behind? Not even with that intention, right? But if we are here, let's do the best. Without any expectation that Ayarbai will say, very good, sister. No. Zero want, zero desire. No. Baba says he's making us divine beings, means deity. The word in Hindi, devta, means the one who gives, dene wala. The one who gives. Just give. Take and give. Take and give. So are you all ready to take? Yeah. All right. So we'll do a little concluding meditation. Yeah. And when we go downstairs, of course, you'll get announcement. There is a memorial that you saw it in the, I don't know if you observed, the song that was played. There was a little tower, little memorial that was shown. We call it as the Tower of Peace, Shanti Stambh. The word stambh means tower. A stambh means one which is unshakable, immovable, stambh. Tower is the translation that we do, but the word stambh is like a pillar. It doesn't shake. and you stand for it. So is the Tower of Peace. There are four four pillars on either side, on four sides. Tower of Peace, Tower of Purity, Tower of Saraswati Ben, Might, and fourth, Knowledge. Tower of Knowledge. So we'll do that four things, little taster now. And when you go down, we'll also give you some sweet, and she'll say, but as you're going, you will see the picture of Brahma Baba at the back of the hall. Just stand in front of him, look into the center of the forehead or his eye, take one inspiration. The word Baba means dad, Papa. To bring a close relation. He's not a guru. He's my dad. So how will you talk to your dad? Will you go bow to him, to your dad? Daddy, can I talk to you? No, you'll have a heart-to-heart conversation, right? So just stand for a minute in front, minute or more. Take as long as you want. Just open your heart, Baba. And take one inspiration. Baba, I want to be like this. How you are. You can copy. There's no copyrights in Brahma Kumaris. You can copy as much as we're actually happy if somebody copies our thing. So good, use it. No, it's for the betterment of all. There's no patent or anything here. So take one inspiration from Brahma Baba's life, then go down, you will get a little snack. And as you sit, read the readings around it and imbibe it. Just reflect upon them. What did he stand for? Yeah. So today also we are expanding and expanding. It started with 350. Now we don't have a count. 900, no count actually. It's so many. Okay. Any questions to the three of us? Anybody has any comments, questions you want to share? You can ask Devi Ben also. All the four of us here. This is the only chance. You can ask whatever you want. Even people on Zoom, if you have any thoughts, comments, questions. Pranav has any question? So I can ask you? Oh, really? You have. Wait, we'll give you the mic. Acha. Okay, sure. No problem. Anyone who wants to ask and we all can benefit? Make it tough because you have four of them. Satyabai? Ilya? Okay, no question. Very good. Either you understood it all. I will leave it with that, with a positive note. Let's all sit. Sit comfortably, but keep your back erect. See, if you want to sit like this, it's fine. But if not, it's okay. Don't strain yourself and your yoga will be with the posture. No. Just sit alert with your eyes open. You can look at the beautiful flowers also, or at the center, at the point of light. We'll just dim the light. Just to soothe your eyes, that's the only reason, because white light and you have your eyes open. Naturally, you can blink. There is no restriction for that. All right. That's good. Om Shanti. As we all sit in this sacred space on a very auspicious day, let's take a moment just to look within. You heard, you saw, you felt. Just take a moment to feel, to savor whatever you heard. about the most luckiest being. Connect to the core of the being. Light. I am a point of light. Divine. Peaceful. The supreme light. Our beloved parent is the ocean of peace. And each one of us are so fortunate to be the child of the divine. Just allow this thought to settle in the mind of and the heart of the soul that each one of us are God's child. Each one of us are God's child. God, whom we lovingly call as Baba, Shiv Baba, the creator of Golden Age, has handpicked each one of us to create a world of harmony, a world of peace, a world of love. Brahma Baba's final 3 words as he left the corporeal body was, may you be incorporeal. Be a dot, point of light. May you be viceless. Drop all the bags and baggages of the vices. And may you be egoless. I come face to face with the divine. For this beautiful task. Let's keep the hand of the intellect in the hand of the divine. For this beautiful task. Om Shanti. I am a peaceful being. Shanti. Just few announcements. One, today is World Meditation. We'll have World Meditation Hour as it is the third Sunday of the month. It's going to be from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. You can join us here or on Zoom. And tomorrow is Monday. Every Monday we have an insight session, which is from 6 to 7:30. It's on various topic. And tomorrow's topic is learning in silence. It's dedicated to International Day of Education. And Saturday, 24th of January, we're going to have a workshop 4 to 6 p.m. It's a Saturday, coming Saturday. And we have Dr. Manoj Matani, who is coming all the way from India. And he's going to be facilitating that. We'll be sharing the flyers on the WhatsApp group and also on our Facebook. Anybody who's on our WhatsApp group? On the Raj Yoga Center WhatsApp group? Shaniza, you are there as well. If you like to be, just share your number when you go down and we can add you. We'll just share thought for today and any upcoming events in that. And you can follow us also on Facebook, Brahma Kumaris Georgetown. And there also we keep posting any upcoming events. And feel free to share this. That is some seva that you can do wherever you are. Just share the word out. If you've felt something, you got something, share it with others so that they can also take. Yeah? And it's a tradition in the Brahma Kumaris that no session ends without a toli and blessing. Toli is nothing but it's a Sindhi word which means sweet. But the sweet is made in remembrance of God and offered to God in a very meditative state. So we will be sharing that with you. A blessing card is nothing but an affirmation. So it is different for all and we randomly pick it. But it very much, whoever receives, you can say, this is exactly what I wanted or what I am. So start your day or end your day by reading it. When I drive, I keep it on the dashboard. So remind myself and then start. All right. So any thoughts? Good. Of course, you all can join us downstairs for some light refreshments. And do remember, when you take your Toli blessing, stop in front of Brahma Baba's picture there, take a moment, and then go downstairs. Okay, and thank you for coming. Thank you for Devi Ben for being our MC, and to our two brothers. It was a beautiful presentation. Did you all like it? Yeah. So I don't know whether the brothers slept because we had a meeting very late, and good, very good. Om Shanti.